Have I got any advice for B plots? My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. Specifically, Infinitory says, I'm happy with my main plot and main character arc, but I'm struggling with side plots that can fit nicely and feel worth it. And to that, I am going to gently push back and say, do you need them? Do you need to have a subplot? Not every story needs to have a subplot. Especially with the rise of cozy fantasy and the resurgence of cozy mysteries, not every story needs to have a complex, twisty plot. So if you feel really happy with your story and it has a sufficient word count for the genre that you are aiming for, you might not need this. But if you are looking for a side plot and you do want to increase word count or you do want to make the story more complex and more twisty, I would have you look at your main character. You said you are happy with your main character and their arc. I want you to instead think of what else your character wants out of life. They have their main goal, that's the arc that is pushing the main emotional through line for the novel, but that's not the only thing they want out of life. If this is a romance and we are pushing that emotional through line with the romance, what about her career goals? What about the way she gets along with her sister? What about the way that she's trying to save the cookie competition in the town, right? Like there's always something else that she also wants that is equally as important or maybe even a little more important if we were looking at a different stage in her life. Or you can look to your other characters and see what it is that they want. These plots are usually going to be introduced later in the story, so this is usually going to be after the inciting incident. We will then introduce a plot for somebody else. So this is if your character is going on a quest, somebody else on that quest is there for different reasons. What is going on with them? Why are they there? Why did they join up with this quest? You can introduce a love interest that was not there before. You can introduce red herrings for them to chase down while they are trying to solve a mystery. You can look at a character who is going to come into the story later and explain why they are going to be important later and dive into some of their backstory. In this case, these stories are going to wrap up sooner than the rest of the story. So if you think of them as like nesting plots, so your main plot is going to start and then end, but you're going to have your B plot is going to start and end. So it's going to start later, end a little bit sooner. You're going to nest your plots in that way. Other stories in your genre and see what are used as subplots there. If you are having trouble making it feel worth it, tie it to your main plot in some way. Yes, this person needs to solve this one big problem, but in order to solve that problem, she first is going to have to get over the stuff with her dad, and so you're going to have that subplot needs to be resolved before the big main plot can be resolved. Try tying them together, and that can make it feel more meaningful and more worth it on the page.